Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and now that my two obligatory informative videos are done for the day, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness world. And today I really want to talk to you guys about, again, the disturbing trend of how YouTube fitness has gone away from being actual useful information to people to being more about fitness entertainment, lifestyle channels, and fake natties pimping their wares. So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. Alright guys, yeah, I wanted to talk about this again because some people pointed out to me that a smaller channel, I think he's got about 31,000 subs, Brandon Teets, I'm going to say that wrong. He actually kind of mentioned to me again, he was talking about YouTube being fitness entertainment. He kind of gave a nod to me of me using that term the other day, and he said I was right, and actually kind of gave me a little bit of a shout out, which, you know, I can dig that because I actually like his channel. I actually like the guy's channel. The guy's actually pretty smart. He actually knows what the hell he's talking about, right? But the guy's only got 30,000 subscribers. Like, how does a channel that good only have 30,000 subscribers? Are you serious? Are you serious? And it's because of the fitness entertainment. Because, guys, here's what it's almost become. It's become about lifestyles and days of eating and all this other nonsense. I mean, like, for example, guys are like, hey, why don't you show us what you eat? Here, guys, I'm eating this bowl of potatoes. Yes, I'm having mashed potatoes for breakfast. I had some chicken breast with it. Don't judge, I'm Slavic. Now, by the way, you know, but all these guys want to put out the macros. I don't know the macros. I don't know the macros on it. But since I am trying to lose some body fat, because I got another DEXA scan coming up in a couple weeks, yeah, I don't put whole milk in it. I put skim milk in it. I don't put butter in it. I put fat-free Greek yogurt in it. But, you know, dudes will focus on whole days of eating. And people request it, even of all of us, like of me, guys, who don't do this stuff. They're like, we want videos of you eating. Well, there you have it. I mean, how is that entertaining? That's not even entertaining, let alone informative, to know that I'm Slavic and I eat potatoes, you know. Big news there. Or it's all about showing your flashy stuff off. I mean, I swear, almost to keep up with this, do I need to get up and show all my new guns every time I have them? Look, guys, look at these sweet-ass Glocks that I put together. I got $1,000 in each hand, which actually I do. But look, guys, all the stainless steel guide rods, the Lone Wolf barrels, the extended slide releases. Oops, can't do that one left-handed. Look, I can put on a laser light show. Woo! Are you entertained? That's seriously as bad as this crap is getting. Like, you just want to see people's toys and gadgets and what they've spent all that YouTube money on and supplement money on. There you guys have it. Yes, I spend a lot of YouTube money on guns. Always ironic. You always get people who are like, Jason, you're on welfare. Your channel doesn't make any money. But then, you know, I'm holding $1,000 handgun in each hand. Have a $6,000 home gym. Totally broken on welfare. That's why I eat potatoes. Because I can afford them. They're for poor Slavic people, right? Little lowly Slavs like me have to eat potatoes. But the thing is, it really is that ridiculous. That's almost what it looks like when you watch half the channels. It's like I'm watching them eat and I'm watching them show off their toys and what they're spending their money on. And look, guys, I appreciate entertainment on YouTube as much as the next person. I actually come to YouTube to listen to music. You know, I like Postmodern Jukebox. I like Leapfrog Studios. You know what? I listen to the hell out of those channels. I love them. I like listening to Mr. Creepypasta for scary stories sometimes when I'm laying down chilling and I don't quite feel like reading a book or I want to work on something. You know, that's entertaining. But everything else I come to YouTube for is informative. Like, I wouldn't come to YouTube and watch a fitness channel to be entertaining. Like, exactly, like what did I just said? I like Brandon's channel. You know what? Guy's smart. He has good information. I've been in the iron game for a couple of decades, but you know what? There's probably a tip or two I could pick up there. You know, there's probably a thing or two even I could still learn, because we can all still learn a few things about training. I don't care how long you've been training. There's still a little bit to learn. Sometimes little minor stuff. But, you know, guys got a pretty good channel. Pretty interesting stuff. And I come for other information on firearms. I want to see people testing weapons. I want to see how they function. I want to see their reviews. I want to see ballistics gel tests. Right? I come here for information. And that's what I don't get. Like, this whole concept that people have now of watching people in their celebrity lifestyles is YouTubers. You know, it's almost like it's replaced the Kardashians. And the crazy part is that, you know, people get that obsessed with the stuff that people don't even put up there. I mean, people are obsessed with my life. For example, perfect example. I mean, to the point where people want to make videos about my life. People want to make videos about my girl. They want to ask me about my girlfriend. It's like, are you guys serious? Pro tip there for guys like Brandon still starting out. Yeah, I probably don't have a girlfriend. Speak much on camera. That doesn't go well. My personal experience. So, that being said, the whole point is that there's all this nonsense, but can you guys honestly say that you've learned anything from watching most of these channels? 90% of these fitness channels, these guys don't know shit other than how to pin trend. Like they could teach you, you know, how much trend you can get away with using, how to tell when your side effects are getting too high. But that's all it really comes down to. Most of them, that's all they do. They blast trend and they don't even know how to train. They don't know anything about training. And then they kind of starve themselves to stay lean while running the trend, which is easier on trend. It does suppress appetite for a lot of guys. But that aside, that's what you're watching. I mean, can any of you guys say that watching most of these channels that are out there that they actually know anything about training? I mean, barring guys like Omar Yusuf, you know, he can teach you some stuff about the squat and the bench press. You watch all these guys and they all have 37 different videos on isolating muscles. Oh, do this and this to isolate a muscle. Why would you even want to isolate a muscle, for one? Like, I'm not going to argue with weak point training. Look, I understand there are times when you have a lagging muscle that you want to bring up, but actually trying to isolate it, really focus on isolating it, actually isn't the best way to get muscle activation or growth. And that doesn't mean curls are useless, by the way. That's not what I said. Don't put words in my mouth. But trying to be as strict as possible has never shown on data to produce the highest muscle activation. It just doesn't. It doesn't. And furthermore, when you are trying to isolate a muscle, what's the goal? To grow that muscle, right? Isn't that why people isolate a muscle? To make it grow. Because they feel it's not growing in proportion the way that they want because of the big exercise, right? They're doing a bunch of compound movements. The whole body's growing, but maybe they have some muscles that they feel aren't getting enough stimulation. They need to catch them up. They need to keep them in proportion, right? That's why you would isolate a muscle or, you know, something involving direct work. We don't want to use the term isolation. Direct work. Well, do you really need 5 different exercises for that? No. It's not even valuable to know how to do 5 different exercises for a muscle. Or take the biceps, for example, or the triceps. Let's say that that's what you think you need to bring up more because your rows and pull-ups and bench presses and overhead presses aren't getting them big enough, right? Maybe your chesticles are getting too big. You know, they're poking way out there. Maybe your back is getting massively wide, you know, and you're starting to look like a freak with no arms. Okay, so you need more arm growth. It would make sense to pick one. Just find one good direct movement, one that does what? Activates as much muscle as possible. Right? If you have a muscle that's lagging, it needs more muscle activation and more work. That's what it needs, right? It's common sense. This should be common sense. So you need to find an exercise that works the hell out of that muscle. And if you're doing 5 different isolation movements or direct movements, probably 1 or 2 of them is better than the rest. So you're wasting time with the other 2 or 3, right? They're a complete waste of your time. You need to be finding the ones that do the most work and focus on those. Pick one. You probably only need one type of curl. You probably only need one type of tricep extension. You need to pick the one that's going to give you the most muscle activation out of what you have available. Any of these guys teach any of that? They want to teach everyone 37 different exercises for a muscle group, but they never sit down and say, hey, but this one actually will, you know, recruit the most muscle fibers. If you do this with your shoulder joint, it'll put a deeper stretch on the muscle and it creates a longer range of motion. This is the one you want to do if it's really lagging, right? Because that's what you need. You just need one. And you need to hammer the hell out of that exercise. They don't teach you that. None of these guys teach people anything, and they spend all this time on all this exercise variation in these individual muscle groups, and yet none of these guys even seem to know biomechanically which ones even activate the muscle or engage it the most for helping people even bring up a lagging body part. They just say, well, you just need to do these 4 or 5 different exercises and just hope one of them works. because they're idiots. They actually don't even know basic biomechanics most of the time. They don't know anything about the human body. And then you watch them with anything else and they can't perform basic lifts. Half these guys can't even squat to depth. All right? Goes to show you how potent tren and growth hormone are. A lot of these guys, you watch them, they don't know how to squat to depth. They don't even know how to perform a bench press safely. They don't even know how to bench press half the time without internal shoulder rotation. They don't even know half the time how to rack or unrack the bar correctly to not risk dropping it on their neck. They don't even know how to set up on a bench to unrack it safely. And these are people who are making their living doing fitness entertainment. And there's no substance to it. These guys, half of them don't even know how to perform the basic exercises correctly. The stuff that everyone should be doing their first week in the gym, they can't even do it. But they know how to do 37 different fluff and pump, leapfrog and grab ass exercises, and just keep pinning that trend, baby. Keep pinning that trend. Just get on that machine and pump it. Reps, pump it. You know, top ramen and tuna. And it's just absurd. And then at the end of the day, what's it come down to? It's all just fake natties who are selling supplements that don't do anything. It's like these guys need to be selling their trend. That's what they need to be doing because that's where they're getting their results. From that their trend bologna sandwiches. Those branched chain amino acids aren't doing anything. That pre-workout's not doing anything. It's all trend. They're not selling that. They want to sell programs when half the best programs are already free, and they're not even custom writing you a program. Look, if someone is selling you programs and they're not coaching you, and that coaching means you need to be filming all your top sets and they need to watch them every week and assess it, then they're not coaching you. And if they're not coaching you, you shouldn't be buying programs from them. They're just giving you some cookie cutter BS. And some of these programs these guys are selling are some of the worst shit I have ever seen. Some of them are truly and legitimately bad, and if you're not hitting a bunch of trend like they are, you're going to get mediocre results from them. But people just keep watching it, and they stay stupid, and they stay ignorant, and they don't learn shit, and they're just entertained. And it's like, why would anyone watch fitness who just wants to be entertained and doesn't want to learn anything? Half these guys aren't teaching anything. They're teaching nothing of value. Because they don't really know that much, and yet they're making their living. Some of them 6-figure incomes. Some of them 7-figure incomes in the fitness world. And it blows my mind. You know, we need a change. We need a change. We need more people actually trying to put out good information, because YouTube kind of started with that. It did start with that. And then it evolved into something else. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. I will talk to you guys next time. I'll eat some more potatoes.